This whole time I believed I couldn't have a baby. But in reality, it was not me who wasn't able to have a baby. It was someone else, aka my husband. And why did he hide this secret? Well, that's the juicy part. I'm about to tell ya. You know that sometimes hiding a small truth can lead you to trap yourself in a web of lies that even you cannot escape. And the reason for hiding it is, well, our own insecurities, which others take advantage of. So let me tell you my current situation, and you can judge for yourself, have I done the right thing by making it even with the one who tries to frame you? Well, hello, I'm Serena, and I'm currently going through a rough time in my marriage with my husband Justin. My married life has been okay so far, but things are getting worse and worse, so now that I've landed on this platform here, this is why I'm writing you. I know that every couple aspires to be complete if they could have their younger ones as well in their family. At some point, you actually want someone to dedicate your life to while taking care of them. Well, I haven't gotten lucky so far. I've been planning to conceive for a couple of years, ever since it's been 3 years since our marriage, and I wanted to experience motherhood and be a full-time parent. As much as I was eager to conceive, my husband Justin was exactly the opposite. He was against having kids. At one point, I ended up questioning why he even got married in the first place if he's been so resentful to have children, so I bit my tongue in an instant, wanting to take my words back, knowing I'd crossed my limits, but he didn't even hesitate to agree with this. Since then, I've been a little scared and skeptical of his intentions. Yes, I was scared, but of heartbreak. Then I consoled myself that maybe we were not on the same page in terms of family planning, but for how long am I supposed to keep waiting? On the other hand, my mother-in-law Martha, who was a bit conservative in her beliefs, since Justin's family comes from a Catholic background, she was eager to have grandchildren and kept asking me about the good news. I told her how things have changed between me and Justin, and I knew she could not do much to help out. She said that having kids would resolve the issues in my marriage and would be the best solution. It did not make any sense, but I did not even care to argue with her. But I was thankful for having a sister-in-law, Jade, who was a lawyer. One day she called both of us to our place for dinner, bringing Martha along with her. Martha, due to her old logic, said that children are the ultimate solution, but I tried to convince her that only having children will not be the solution because Justin is unwilling to have any in the first place. There's no such issue in our marriage except that Justin does not want kids, but I do. Jade, she was older but unmarried, and she actually came up with a better solution. She suggested that we see the marriage counselor if there are any issues with us regarding our relationship, and then we could proceed further. Justin, who always keeps himself aloof in such discussion, denied responding to it, but I could sense he was giving thought to the suggestions provided, and it worked wonders for me because I was looking forward to searching for a suitable counselor or asking for a recommendation. He came up to me suddenly and said that he was ready to make an effort. I was more than happy, rather relieved, that he finally agreed to be on the same page. With that, he refused to get any sort of counseling as it was pointless after he was ready to make up for it. I did not push him to get one as long as he was willing to make an effort. I kept a check on my sleep and menstrual cycle, ate right, exercised, and made arrangements for Justin to keep his mood right. But soon I realized that things were way more difficult than they seemed because it had been more than 8 months and nothing had worked. I started doubting myself. But Justin had been a great husband and very generous, and whenever I gave up on my hope to have a child, he would always tell me that having children was not something that would affect our marriage. I was grateful that, over the months, even though things were rough, he was still sticking up for me and my dreams. I stopped doubting my marriage with Justin after seeing such a gentle and caring side of him, and was relieved that at least my marriage is great even if we don't have a child. I asked Justin if I should get myself checked, and he did not like the idea and tried to reason against it. But seeing me adamant, he reluctantly agreed and said he did not want any random doctor to consult me though, so he would take the recommendation of an expert doctor to get me checked. He booked my appointment with his friend who had known him since his college days, and I got myself checked and the results were quite unexpected. I was said to be a little infertile and needed to be treated for some time to be healthy enough to conceive. So, he had given me the medication and prescribed diet. He said that he would take time for medicines to take effect, and he was right. I had been taking them for 2 to 3 months as instructed, but one day my mother-in-law came in and began with the same topic that she has been dragging years ago. What's she get her grandchildren? Or why am I being so careless and overworked and not even bothered about a family? But me and Justin told her that we both have been trying for so long and we have not seen any results even if I've gotten myself checked by the doctor. Martha, instead of understanding the concern, taunted me about being infertile because I would not be able to conceive. For so long, I've been blaming Justin for being unwilling because the real problem lies with me. She was adding fuel to the fire, and I ended up arguing with Justin about why he does not try to make his mother understand that it's not his fault. My anger towards Martha was directed against Justin, and I ended up having an argument with him, also questioning his doctor. I was truly upset, so I did not want to bring the topic up to him again without being confirmed about it myself, so I contacted Jade to help me recommend a doctor for my checkup to just find out if anything's wrong with me, because if I brought this up to Justin, he would deny it, saying that I've been eating the wrong food or being careless. She understood my concern, got me an appointment with one, and we went to visit her. She took only a few of my tests and said that I was fertile and healthy to conceive. I told her about the previous doctor, who said the exact opposite of her, and showed her the prescription that he had given me. She confirmed the medications were just some vitamins and were actually helpful for me, and she did not bother to change them. She also gave me one important suggestion. Maybe my husband should be the one to get himself checked out. Well, I was relieved and honestly revealed to him the contrary results that I contacted when I got the change of the doctors. Before I could bring him up to the suggestion that the doctor had given me, I saw that he was not in a good mood or whatever because his reactions were quite contrary to the good news I was sharing with him. I was surprised to see him like this and asked what he actually wanted because I could not comprehend what was troubling him. He didn't answer me right away and said that he needed some time off from this pregnancy thing and conception, and he was stressed about his work. I agreed to give him a bit of time since I don't want to act stubborn all the time when he's not ready yet. But after that, it's been several weeks and he never bothered to make up his mind to address the thing, so I gathered my courage to talk to him about what he thought about it and dropped a suggestion that I could not bring myself to put forth earlier, that he should also try getting himself checked. It was not easy for me to say this because he belonged to a conservative Catholic family. Martha, his mother, would be downright offended if I ever thought of it, let alone express my concern, and he was infuriated and said that I should stop doubting his masculinity, and offended by even being questioned about it. He left, saying he just remembered something important he left at his office. Top comments from the original post. Comment number 1. OP, you did the right thing by changing the doctor. After all, she should not have trusted Justin and his doctor as well. She had also given him a chance to talk about it, but he never tried to communicate with OP effectively if he had any such issues. If she expects him to be the father of her kids, then he should at least tell her what's bothering him. Also, Justin was pathetic in dealing with his own mom, OP, who was blamed for being infertile. Instead of standing up for her, he instead ended up fighting, and OP was lucky to have another doctor who had given her a true diagnosis. Comment number 2. OP is wrong from the beginning. Let me explain. She should not have forced her husband into getting pregnant and having kids if he was unwilling to have them in the first place, because this will only lead to unhealthy parenting, which is a thing that comes with serious responsibilities, and having children should not be the decision of OP alone. She did the most wrong thing by denying going to therapy when she was the one who needed it the most. OP is stupid. OP is impatient. In order to have children, she can choose to surrogate, have adoption, IVF, you name it, when there are so many options available. Update number 1. I can't understand, well, how things have led to another. I knew that Justin might object to the advice that the doctor has given me for him. At first, I was thinking the opposite, blaming Justin, etc., but now the tables have turned so quickly that being suspicious of Justin now made me the suspect. He stopped talking to me completely and became passive-aggressive. I could not stand Justin's behavior, so retaliating against him only made things worse. I thought of talking to Jade, but since she was busy with her back-to-back meetings, she did not have enough time, so I thought of contacting her later, hoping to find out what had gone so badly wrong between them. How could one simply suggest leading to this devastation in my relationship with Justin? I started doubting my idea of ever having kids. I wanted to make things right with him and to hold on to things, so I planned to pick him up from his office and book a table at a restaurant. Maybe some good food and wine would at least make his mood a bit better and possibly open up some communication for him to speak up. So, I went to his office, but I was shocked to find him being friendly with a red-haired girl. He was so friendly, in fact, that it did not take me long to believe he might have somebody else important in his life. I nearly imagined her taking my place, and I got so upset that I dropped all my plans then and there and headed back home, trying to gather my courage to face him. And I started recollecting all my thoughts, trying to comprehend how things have ended up like this, and I concluded that this is why Justin was unwilling to have kids with me and start a family in the first place. He must have had somebody else in mind and wanted to get rid of me, but I could not understand why he agreed to have kids with me when I insisted on it. I had so many thoughts in mind. I waited for him to come home, but when he came up, he seemed to be in a happy mood and greeted me. I was quiet and observed him, waiting to hear if he had something to say. He said that I needed to get ready fast because he wanted me to go with him to his office promotion party, and I taunted him, saying if he ever changes his mind, he could happily go with somebody else, and he simply said if I wished to come, then I could come, and left quietly. He did not argue or try to come up with something sarcastic, and I could not understand the response, but I saw him waiting for me at the door, so I got dressed to accompany him. I wanted to know the truth, and it can't be found sitting here and imagining things, and I have to go there to find it. When I went to a party, Justin introduced me to his group. Justin was busy with a discussion with them when I excused myself to use the restroom. By the time I was back, I was searching for him, hoping to find a few answers. I thought he must have been cheating on me when I spotted him, with that same red-haired girl in a black dress, and I thought I've caught him, since they were so deeply involved in each other that they hardly bothered about the people around them. I rushed to not miss them at this moment, and I called out to Justin standing right behind him. I was eager to meet the girl who was involved with him, and my jaw dropped to the floor when I came face to face. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that it was Clara. She exchanged the same energy as mine, and it was really emotional meeting with her. But then I realized my restraints were due to being around Justin. After becoming aware of Justin's conservative background, I never shared anything about my past. Clara was my ex-girlfriend. I'm bisexual. It's not something that you do not have control over, just like falling in love. And these two things simultaneously happened to me when I met her on the first time. We had a past with each other, and the reason for our separation was also pretty obvious because it was just the kind of intense mutual infatuation that every teenager had in their lives. After soon realizing that we were not meant for each other, our parted ways. I took Clara by the hand to go somewhere where I could talk to her in private and exchange a word with her without disturbance. Obviously, after excusing myself from Justin, I asked if she knows Justin, and she just told me that he is her manager. I wanted to know what they were discussing and if they were close, but if I bombarded them with questions right away, it would make me skeptical of both of them, so I only asked if Justin knew if she was a lesbian. She said yes. I was shocked at how he could act so normal around her and so much friendlier. Before she could say anything further, Justin, standing behind us, said that he once saw her in my school group photos. We look like best friends. And then he added that we looked almost like a couple. The sarcasm was dripping from his voice and said he was quite surprised that I've never bothered to mention her earlier. I told him that I would tell him everything in detail once we arrived back at home. I was so scared during the entire party that I drank way too much to wash down my anxiety. I think my relationship with marriage has been severe, and he may not accept me for not sharing this with him before, or will he accept me for my past after belonging to such a background? But I know I can no longer hide this from him, so later or sooner, I do have to tell him before he finds out from somebody else. Update number 2. Hey everyone, I hope everything's good with you guys. I'm back with another update, but first, thank you for listening to all my rants and problems, as well as for the advice and support I've received. So, I was being cheated on, but in a very unexpected way. I never thought I would have to face this embarrassment and humiliation in front of family. Please suggest what I should do. I was relieved that Justin was not cheating on me, but I was worried about what Justin might think if he knew the truth. Thankfully, he does not know anything about me being bisexual, but one day, or another, I'll have to face this, so it's better if I tell him right away before he gets to know from a friend, relative, or ex. One day, finding Justin in a good mood, I tried to reach him out. When I asked how he was doing, he sensed that I had stopped talking about conception and pregnancy, and instead tried to confess to him the truth that I had hidden from him for oh so long. Even though it had little to do with our marriage and family planning, but after meeting Clara, I felt the need to share with him. So, I proceeded to explain how I met her and what happened between us in order to know how he would react if he got a hint. When I sensed that he was getting it, I confessed to him that I'm bisexual and that Claire was my ex-girlfriend, but there's nothing between us, in fact, nobody, because I only had Justin in my life as my husband and I looked forward to him being the father to my kids. I was scared by the fact that Justin might get upset and have a problem with me being bisexual, and that might be the reason why he's asked for a break with me and has become unwilling to have children with me. He smiled and asked if I still had something to her. After all, she was my first love. I didn't know about that after meeting someone for so long. All I was sure of was that I had no one in my life except Justin, and I made that promise to him. He did not reply to me and simply left. The next day, I got a call from Martha saying she was planning a surprise birthday party for Jade, so I had to reach Martha's place in time to help with the arrangements. I did as told, but failed to realize that something else was also waiting for me at the party. When Justin came back to join his sister's party, he then displayed my old pictures with my ex, where we clicked couple selfies together. He also showed our candid pictures where I was talking to her at the party when we hugged, but it was just a friendly gesture before bidding goodbyes. But Martha was being conservative. After seeing the past pictures and the present one, Justin has made it look like I was still involved with her. Justin said that because of my ex, we both had difficulties with each other, and that's why because of me, we were unable to have children. He tried his best to be a good husband, but at the end of the day, I chose her and cheated on him. And if I ever have kids, they might turn out like me. I was shocked and said that I never did such a thing with them. But Martha was not thinking straight and only asked if these pictures were true. Well, they were. And she did not want to know the further story. She only said that I trapped her son to get all his money and that I cheated on him. Jade is doing her best to calm her down. Martha was not ready to listen. After all, she's been trying to be patient for her grandchildren, and her piled-up grades were coming to the surface. On top of that, being an Orthodox woman, she would not tolerate such things. With that, she kicked me out of her house, and I went back home and locked myself in, denying Justin access to my house. So, he stayed at Martha's place. Update number 3. Hey guys, thanks for guiding me through your comments. I'll forever be grateful for your advice, and so this is going to be my last update. I could not handle the betrayal and wanted to leave home, but I did not know where, so I started collecting my passports and other documents in a shattered state. I was frantic and searching for them. I scattered Justin's papers as well, and I did not care to put them back. But suddenly I came across some reports. I could not remember if Justin had undergone any sort of test, so curiously I opened and read them. They were written technical terms, at least it mentioned negative. It was a potency test. After reading them, I could find out why he was not potent. I was shocked by the revelation. To confirm it, I visited my previous doctor, and according to whom I was fertile, and she confirmed my doubt. I quickly called Jade and told her everything from the beginning, and she accompanied me to visit the first doctor, who was recommended by Justin. Being a lawyer, she inquired about him with the current report of mine, stating me as completely healthy and fertile, and questioned his diagnosis. Well, he gets scared. Said that Justin had paid him and tried to convince him because, well, he was aware of his medical history. Justin, during his college days, was fond of bodybuilding and ended up taking many steroids, which he warned him against. But Justin did not pay heed and wanted to be as popular as a, quote, alpha male in these days. He consumed unhealthy amounts of steroids, which led to his impotence. He got admitted due to it several times, and finally, lucky to be healthy again, he left it completely alone. But somewhere the side effect did not fade away, and he was still trying to find a cure for it. I asked him why he had lied to me in the first place. He could be sued for this. Jade threatened him. He apologized and said he agreed to help Justin because Justin promised that he would soon get cured, and till then he needed some more time, so he requested to lie just temporarily on his behalf and tell me that I would be infertile for the time being, and later, when Justin, who was supposed to be cured in just a few more weeks, could change it and show the true diagnosis of him being infertile. Well, the doctor said that Justin never wanted to reveal this truth of, well, what happened to me. Also, the doctor never wished any harm upon me, which is why he did not prescribe anything that could cause any ill health. He apologized for hiding the truth. I was upset, but I let it go, only on the condition that he would now help me expose the truth. After talking to the doctor, I was vengeful. I figured out why Justin had asked for some time, but he never shared his truth. Rather, he used my past and reality against mine, to sabotage me in front of Martha and other family members, and make me feel guilty for not being able to bear children. I could not let him get away without consequences, so I had a plan to make him taste his own medicine, but somehow Jade did not agree with me on this. She said it was too much and I should not hurt anyone, but I did not care. I just wanted her to promise me that she would not tell anyone anything about what I was planning and let me do what I wanted to do. Thankfully, she agreed with me on this, and I also called Martha, Clara, and Jade, obviously, but not without Justin, who's the reason behind everything, along with his doctor for giving me the wrong diagnosis. I planned a fake baby shower for all them. Everybody was surprised, especially Martha, and Justin could not believe his eyes when he saw that I was pregnant. He was clueless, but could not act like one. He was forcing himself to be happy about it. Then I called Justin in between and showed everyone all the reports. The first report was mine, which clearly stated me as, well, infertile, followed by the next one where I was fit, healthy, and fertile, and thankfully because of another doctor who had given me an unbiased report. And the last one is the reason for my suffering, Justin's reports. Everybody was shocked to see his, and that too was the recent prescription that Justin was currently taking secretively. So, I told them how Justin was unwilling for children, and then he tried to manipulate me through his doctor. And when he did that successfully, all thanks to Martha, who had blamed me for being infertile, that fueled the differences between me and Justin. While fighting with him, I started questioning his doctors as well, and changed it without telling him, which has given me some real diagnosis. And after sharing the news with him, he asked for a time off from all the conception stuff. I didn't know that he was up to something else until I saw Clara, whom I misunderstood as somebody mysterious in his office, who was, well, having an affair with him. But when I found out who she was, my ex, I tried my best to not let the truth ruin my marriage, but to my surprise, he already knew about it. My insecure husband, who tried to prove his masculinity by framing me as a disloyal wife, is finally forced to accept his reality in front of everyone. This was evident to everybody. That's how he used my past against mine to defame me by questioning my integrity as his wife, and even Justin's friend, the doctor, could not support him for what he's done. He claimed and told the truth about Justin and how he had landed himself into this mess. I told Justin that his fragile male ego was too much and that he could spoil anyone's life for that matter. Hiding such crucial information had left him trapped in his own lies. Clara sympathized with him and said that if she had known how Justin would end up doing this, he would never let her befriend him. She now realized that Justin had only been friends with her to confirm my truth. When he recognized her in one of my school group pictures, he tried to learn more about her and used the information against me. Justin, in his defense, said that he hates me for being an insensitive wife and for hurting him by constantly questioning his masculinity. Well, I corrected him, saying that it was not his masculinity but his insecurity. And I was not sensitive, rather he was egoistic, and also the extent that he did not even think twice before framing me as a disloyal wife and questioning my integrity in front of his family? Let alone having kids with such a pathetic person who's not even a good husband. How can I imagine him as a father? So, I divorced him at last, and I don't know if I would go the legal route on him for faking the reports and gaslighting me. Let me know what I should do. Top comments from the final update say this. Comment number 1. OP did the right thing while dealing with her egotistical husband who was insecure about himself that he did not think twice about framing and humiliating his own wife just to hide his reality in front of others. He made her vulnerable. OP should have left him sooner, but we wish our luck to OP, right? She did the right thing at last, and even though she's late, OP should not have left him like this without suing him into jail for humiliating her. And gaslighting too. Comment number 2. I would say that both were wrong in this situation. Everybody sucks here. They should have discussed all these things before marriage. I mean, the OP's wrong here because she should have disclosed her past relationship as well. Only while they were dating and not giving him any chance of gaslighting her. I would say the major mistake is from OP's husband because he lied about his infertility. Faked OP's reports, gaslighted her, and still refused to admit that he was wrong. Everybody sucks. I'll tell you guys, the comment section was not very happy with the husband of this story. There was some outliers that didn't believe the husband really did anything wrong and said everybody sucks here, but come on guys, I'd say 95% of the comments were absolutely destroying the husband, saying he's making OP feel vulnerable, throwing her under the boat, blaming her, doing all sorts of things a husband should not do. Let me know your thoughts about that, guys. Let me know if you think the karma that OP found was justifiable or did she go a bit too far. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. My name's Mr. Reddito. Welcome to today's story. I'm glad you joined me. Thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I do this every day. Hit that subscribe button, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And just remember, it's cool to be kind.